We need to connect them to someone else. And those people need to be able to support them, able to increase safety, and willing to connect them to those resources that they need. Thank God we have resources. We just need to connect them.
The Wisconsin Department of Health Services estimates one suicide death affects as many as 135 other individuals, including friends, coworkers, and loved ones. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is available 24/7 by dialing 988. The Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents votes unanimously to fire former UW-La Crosse Chancellor Dr. Joe Gao from his faculty teaching position. Gao has been on paid leave from his faculty position since the Regents fired him as chancellor in December 2023, shortly after university leaders became aware of videos made by Gao and his wife that were posted on pornographic websites. At a meeting in June, a UW-La Crosse faculty committee recommended that Gao lose his tenured position, stating that his outside activities harmed the university's reputation. A Milwaukee homeless shelter has issued a notice to vacate homeless people living in a nearby encampment. Tons of tents are located on 13th Street near Juneau Avenue, across the street from a men's homeless shelter called Guest House of Milwaukee. Last week, a notice was issued at the shelter and on tents across the street stating that they had 30 days to vacate and be gone by 5 p.m. on Saturday, October 12th. They say the reason is due to violence. Currently, the CEO of Guest House, Stephen Bauer, is trying to find alternatives for resources and housing for those affected by the notice. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 8332. Well, where'd you get them from?
My backpack.
Oh, dude, really? Anyway, you're listening to Truth in the... It's Friday. It's Pop-Off Friday. That's all I can say. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me tell you the quick story. My mouse just stopped working. So I'm like, well, it's probably the battery. And I'm looking at the battery, and watch this. Watch this. You know this is the battery that came with it because you don't even recognize the brand of the battery. Like, what is GP Alkaline, right? Yeah. So you know that that's the battery that came with it. I got a real battery, Energizer Max. Thank you, DJ Brother Z. But my ADHD goes what? Skip over stuff. As I said, DZ. And he looked at me, hey, that's not my name, fool. And I was like, yes, sir, Mr. DJ Brother Z. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So that's my bad. So anyway, I say all that to say it's one of those days. It's Friday. It's pop-off Friday, but it's pop-off. Okay, it don't work at all now. It's the cart. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so I can't use any of these computers. I'll move over here. How's that? Anyway, like, wouldn't you expect this? It's a Friday. So you would actually expect this. Let's see if I can get it to move. Okay. I don't think it's that. I think it's just the computer and it's just being right. Because now, okay, I got it. All right. So, boy, that was crazy. So, it's Pop-Off Friday, but it's not. So I had an incident happen today, and I want to explain what it was. I can't say names. I can't say who the person was, but I usually sometimes sit outside, sit inside, go different places to do my show prep, right? And so I sat down today and I'm working, and I happened to just go outside this time, right? And so I'm sitting there, I'm on a computer, and I see this person walk past. And so the reason I noticed this person is because every man within the vicinity of me literally stopped what they were doing and watched this person walk up the walk, right? So I went, being a guy, who are they looking at? And so I look over, and it's this person. And I immediately think to myself, she is absolutely beautiful. Wow. Nice, pleasant, right? And then I recognize the person. And I go over and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, so-and-so. Aren't you? And they say, yes, I am. I was like, oh, yeah. And then I say, yeah, I work at The Truth. She's like, oh, really? How long you been there? I've been there 4 years. I was there when it started, blah, 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 blah. We talked. Well, it was nice to meet you. You have a great time. And they went inside. So they went inside. About 10 minutes later, they come back out, talking on the phone, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da, boop, and they're gone. So they go out, and I see this guy walk, and he's watching her. Now, you know when a man watches a woman because she's beautiful, you go, ooh, admiringly. He was not admiringly. He had a poker face, and he's just watching her. And as she's walking, he's walking. And then I turn around and look, and, you know, there's some Jehovah's Witnesses that are outside every day. We know how they can be. So they were sitting outside, and she walks past them, but I think she's on the phone. I don't know if she's on the phone, but they walk past. So then I look, and I see him stop. He looks up Wisconsin Avenue, and then he follows the same route she's taking. Well, you know, sometimes being a cop for 30 years has its privileges. This time, my brain went haywire. Like cop intuition went, And so I waited. I'm going to power down my computer and go. And then I just went, nope. I closed my computer and I walked. By the time I got to Wisconsin Avenue, they were about mid-block between 3rd and Vel Phillips. So I kind of increased my step behind. Meanwhile, he's getting closer and closer. So by the time we get to the corner, he's about 10 feet from her. And I see him pull out his phone and look at it, and then he put the phone back in. And when we turn the corner, I see the person, I see her unlock her car, right? And that's when I kind of walked past him and said, hey, you know, I just wanted to say, and I apologize, I just wanted to say, it was great meeting you today. It was fun. And you know how a person is like, this is kind of weird. Like, really? And I hold out my hand. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And the guy walks past, and he goes about a quarter of a block away, and then he sits down. And now he's looking at us. And I look her in the eye, and I say, there was a guy that was following you out of the place. Be careful. Is that your car right there? Yeah, well, I'll be here while you get in your car. And so we, you know, waved like we knew each other for like 20 years. All right, well, it was good to see you. Take care of yourself. All right, see you later. And I thought to myself, how many people have disappeared in Milwaukee or have been walking to their car, minding their own business? But what really tripped me out, you ready? I took the police test on my birthday in 1992. And before my birthday came in 1993, a year later, I had been in the academy for a month. No, prior. No, it was a month before my birthday. So I didn't even have a year's birthday after I took the test that I ended up in the academy, moved to Milwaukee, and then been here since 1993. You realize if I hadn't taken the test in 1993, signed up to work at The Truth, went through all that stuff, got off, retired, right? All the things I decided to do, professor at Concordia, all came down to one day today. I showed up on a Friday and decided, I think I'll sit outside instead of sitting inside. Tomorrow, there might be a report looking for a person who's missing, and they haven't seen them since they left 3rd Street Market. And when I think about that, I think about how many times you're in the right place at the right time to do the right thing. And it didn't dawn on me that that was something. I was just making sure the person got to their car, and then I was going to turn around and walk back. But because this person was so adamantly walking behind her, and I think it's important that men protect women, regardless of what you say and how non-chivalrous you are. I think in this society, it is incumbent upon men to make sure they protect women. And that's all I did. And so that person has since circled back and sent an email and said, hey, I'm looking for this person because this person did. Because I think what happened is over time, you realize I literally could have been missing and no one have known where I was. It could have been trafficking. It could have been an assault of some kind. It could have been anything. Follow your instincts. When it seems like something is not right, it's not. But ironically, I had gotten training as a police officer to surveil and track people who are surveilling and tracking other people without them knowing that I know. And that's exactly what triggered me today. And that's exactly why that person is safe today. You never know what the future is going to hold for one decision you make, however minor, that can have literally a life-saving impact. But when I think about it, I can only think one thing. God is good.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. Friday Night Lights officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette University High School championship football. Be sure to tune in every Friday night at 7 p.m. as we bring you some of the best gridiron action in the area. Marquette Hilltoppers football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Left's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
So you may have heard of Project 2025, a plan crafted by Trump and his MAGA loyalists to give Trump virtually unchecked political power and take Black America backwards. Here's how. Project 2025 strips away our voting rights protections, and it eliminates the Department of Education. It would siphon public school funding to private schools, leaving our kids behind. Planning on going to college? Good luck paying for it. Project 2025 cuts funding for federal student loans. Trump's Project 2025 would also make states monitor women's pregnancies, and it bans abortion. Project 2025 would also gut Obamacare, ripping away health care from millions. Simply put, Trump's Project 2025 would be devastating to Black America. But we can stop it by voting for Kamala Harris for president, because we are not going back.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for president.
1017 The Truth's Noni Juice here, and I'm here to let you know you can get your best night's sleep on a new Beauty Rest mattress from Steinhafels. Support a great cause when you test rest a Beauty Rest. Steinhafels will donate $20 to special spaces, and you get a $20 restaurant reward card. Rest easy on a new Beauty Rest. Queen mattresses start at only $42 per month. Plus, you can get up to $300 in Steinhafels cash. So start sleeping better tonight. Steinhafels, your mattress destination. Shop in-store or online.
Your drink, sir?
This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. As with every Friday at about 16 after the hour, we have our good teammate from 620 WTMJ, Mr. Stephen Scafidi. How are you, sir?
I am wonderful on this Friday afternoon. As always, thanks for having me on.
So this whole political thing, this stuff is starting to, like, now, I know it may not be connected, but it might be connected. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, has been indicted 5 counts of basically fraud, accepting bribes from
charges.
foreign. And so is this politically motivated, or is it a reflection of the fact that the Democratic Department of Justice is going after another Democrat?
You know, that's an interesting question. Obviously, we don't know the answer to that yet because we have to see, obviously, what's all in this, and it's still early stages. But it does make you wonder if this system that we are now living in is so politicized that every time we have something like this, immediately our go-to is, okay, is this a political vendetta that somebody's acting on? And the answer is, yeah, maybe. We don't know anymore. And it's, you know, when you start dumbing down facts, some people, not you and not me, but some people dumb down facts, and it makes it harder to ascertain what's actually going on. Boy, it makes you wonder, Dr. Cannon. And this one, from what I can glean so far, yeah, bribery is an interesting indictment here, but I mean, there's so much we don't know. And one of his, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, one of his staff said, this happens all the time. And maybe New York, that might be the case. I have no idea. I'd have no idea.
But the weird part about it is this. You've got a state like New York. You've got a city like New York where pockets of it are Republican, pockets of it are Democrat. You have a Democratic AUSA, Assistant U.S. Attorney, and then you have a Democratic mayor and a Democratic DOJ. Had this been a Republican-led Department of Justice, I might go, maybe it's politically motivated. Or is it just political cover at a time where we're so polarized because of this presidential election that we're kind of, covering ourselves by going after everybody equally?
Yeah, I think it's the latter, right? We're trying to figure things out, and I do have faith in the court system. I know that a lot of people don't anymore, but I've said this over again on my show that if you abandon your faith in all of the systems of government and all the departments, you pretty much don't have anything left but chaos. And as you as a former law enforcement professional, you know that when chaos is the norm, lots of bad things can happen. So I hope that we are not entering like this phase of where just everything breaks down. That's worrisome for anybody. I don't care what your party affiliation is. That's not a good development. So hopefully not.
Okay. And speaking of other, I guess I can call it lame brain things, this vice presidential debate. So does anybody really care?
What's the song by Chicago? Does anybody really know what time it is? I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, somebody asked me this on one of the other shows on WTMJ, and I said, this to me is not about policy. This is about personality. And I don't know that this is even necessary. And they also asked me how many people are going to watch. I have no idea. Maybe there's curiosity.
Is there a reason?
But you and I both know, I don't think so.
Okay.
Other than to see maybe J.D. Vance sweat or Tim Wallace sweat over a tough question if they get one. This is really not must-see TV. It's much different than the presidential race. That's interesting. Those are two people that are going to be, let's be honest, the most powerful leaders in the world. That matters. Vice president, I said earlier, I don't think either one of these people are presidential material. At least I hope not. Doesn't mean I think poorly of them. They don't excite me as a leader of the free world. And this election is about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And if you don't know that, I think you're missing the big story.
So I'm taking a poll, and I want you to be the first person. You can watch the vice presidential debate and watch a really, really, really stiff and narrow Republican against the really bizarre, like Frisbee-minded Democrat. Or
left, definitely left.
Oh, well, I think the left him.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can clip your toenails. Which one would you choose?
I think I go for the toenails.
Okay.
To be honest, I have to watch it because I have to talk about it on Wednesday on my show because I do a show on politics. Would I prefer not to? Absolutely prefer not to. But I mean, there's really nothing of value here because they are not running for president.
But
do you
understand?
Know that anything can happen. We know that.
But do you understand that we're 4 weeks from an election, and nobody cares about the vice presidential debate? Like nobody.
Yeah, I just had this conversation away from the show. How many people? I'm asking you this question, and I don't know the answer to it. How many people are actually tuned in to politics right now? Or they've already made up their mind? They'll just go vote, or they're already voting if they're pre-voting. I think it's like most people. They're like already tuned out of this. They've already made their mind up. They've heard all the ads if that's a motivator for them.
Right.
They don't care about that. I raised this point the other day on the show. We play campaign ads on our station. I tune them out as they're in my ears and in my headphones. I couldn't even tell you who's saying what. I've just completely tuned them out. And I cover politics for a living. That's how I think most people are looking at this. It's like, yes, we know there's an election. We've made up our mind. Let's just get to it. I think that's where we're at.
So with that, do you think that we should have elections that are more than just one day? Should we take a week or 3 days and everybody goes on sabbatical, vacation, whatever, and you go vote? Because other countries do that.
Yeah. You think that's going to increase participation? I don't know. I mean, there's so many ways to early vote now. If they want to vote, they should be able to. It's actually more than a week. It's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Or longer in some places. I think everyone has every opportunity to vote. If you want to vote, it's right there in front of you. You can get a ballot in the mail. You can go early vote. You can show up on election day. A lot of people love to do that. I used to do that all the time until I was an elected official, and then I found myself answering people's questions when I just wanted to show up and vote. So, which was a distraction for me and not something I appreciated, even though I love to talk to people. So I think at some point we're going to have to figure out how we run our elections. And here's the big point. I spent a lot of time on my show today talking about this. We have to get to a point where everybody, left, right, Republicans, Democrats, liberal, conservatives, whoever, independents, trust the process. And right now, we don't. It's across the board. Everybody has this fear of something happening, or they're making accusations. It's every day now. We had the mayor in Wausau doing some crazy stuff, trying to move a ballot box when, in fact, it was locked and empty. It wasn't even being used yet. Those stories are sort of driving this narrative that I think destroys trust in the system. I trust the system when it's properly monitored and executed, and the rules matter to me, but we got to get back to that in this country. I just was talking about chaos. I don't want chaos in our election process. And I was talking about this the other day, too. There's two things that can happen, right? It could be a very close election, which by itself sort of sows distrust, or it's a blowout or a big margin either way. That would actually be sort of an unexpected circumstance, when there's big margins, the circumstances of how people voted or what happened on election day become less important. It was pretty clear this is what America said. Maybe we'll have one of those either way, and don't ask me to predict because I have no idea what might happen on election day. I have no idea right now. None.
And to be honest with you, since I've been in Wisconsin, every major election that someone has asked me about, to the point of when I became a teammate at Good Karma Brands, I would get harassed by Eric Bilstad and other, who's going to win the election? And I would tell them who. Oh, no, there's no way that's going to happen. I've been at 100% since I've been here. This time around, I have no clue. I can't even begin to guess.
Yeah, I wasn't working on radio in 2016, but I did get the Biden one right. So to be close, that one was correct. Although obviously some people disagree with that statement, which is going back to what I just said about distrust. If we don't trust the results 4 years later, we're not doing a good job of explaining how things work in this country. And it's an interesting time. I love talking about politics, and I love the sort of the dynamic engagement we get with our listeners and our fans of the shows. But, boy, I am not pretending to have any answers on this one. And I'm telling people, I don't care who you vote for. You do what you want to do. I will try to analyze, like you do, Dr. Ken, what we see, how we perceive it, and what role that might play in this decision that we're all going to make, or some of us already made, going into November. It's a fascinating time to be alive.
Well, let me take a point of personal privilege and throw another weird one in. So a study came out that said that Generation A children don't have friends. But they don't have friends because their parents won't let them play with other kids. Not because the kid is black or white or, that kid is Catholic and you're, Protestant. Not because you're Lutheran and you're Methodist. It's because you're conservative or liberal. So now you've got kids who don't have any friends because mommy and daddy don't like their parents. But you remember when kids were kids and they played and they didn't care what color you were. They didn't care who you were. They just wanted to play.
They didn't care about your politics. Yeah, I just had a texter send me today. They just broke up with some friends they've had for 50 years over this election. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't respond to them. I let them vent. Are you kidding me? 50-year friendship over this election. Then we're doing it wrong. We're doing friendship wrong. And to the parents' question, parents, they are doing way too much. You got to let kids be kids. You got to let them make bad decisions, good decisions, make mistakes, do all the things, break their leg. I broke my ankle as a kid. That's what happens when you're a kid. You can't put the bubble on them. And when you do that, when you do that as a kid, you get bad adults who don't make good decisions. And maybe we're reaping the rewards of that, unfortunately.
Yep. Yes, we are. Well, thank you, sir. Have a great weekend. Don't work too hard.
I will not work too hard. Go to the Packers game. Dr. Ken, always a pleasure.
All right. Take care. Now, Steve Scafidi, he is the Political Power Hour host on 620 WTMJ. You can check it out every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. These politics are getting weird. It's just getting bizarre. I don't really understand what exactly is going on. I don't understand what's happening. I don't get it. Hey, you want to pop off today? 833-212-1017 is the number. What's making you mad today? I'm mad because I want women in this city to be safe, and men and boys and children and girls. Fellas, we got to step up. That helped me today, and it actually scared me today to think that had I not been sitting there, not in an arrogant way, not with false humility, but the fact that if I wasn't there and if I hadn't had the training that I had, being hypervigilant, to which I get complaints about, sometimes you should just turn it off. No, I'm not turning it off, ever. Now, I'm never turning it off. I am always at condition yellow, no matter what. When I die, I'll be at condition yellow, right? I'm just saying. And we need to be cognizant of that. And the way crime is going, and now it's getting cold, and you're going to put on coats and all that stuff. You're going to be more bulky in movement. You have to be safe. You have to be safe. I guess you got to be safe when you vote now, too. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon, traffic, sports, weather, all that stuff. Up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hardworking family businesses, ambitious entrepreneurs, relationship builders, and job creators. Businesses like yours are the heart of Wisconsin, and Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation lives to help you realize your vision. Join them for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development. It will be held December 11th and 12th at the Baird Center in Milwaukee and virtually on the 10th. Presented by WEDC, Marketplace Wisconsin is a chance for minority, women, LGBTQ+, veteran-owned and small businesses to network, explore government contracting, and grow. You keep our state moving with construction, janitorial services, logistics and transportation, technology, medical services, and more. And Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation wants to help propel your success too. Let's look forward together. Register for Marketplace Wisconsin today at marketplacewisconsin.com.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Vice President Kamala Harris.
Talk with your listeners to remind them of their power and the importance of voting. And the folks in Milwaukee turned out for me and Joe Biden in 2020. You showed what was possible.
U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, are you a racist?
Absolutely not.
Is Donald Trump a racist?
Absolutely not. No.
And civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump.
Thank you all for speaking truth to power. That's the most important thing, because right now there are those in our community who would rather we just be quiet.
Right.
We have to disturb the peace now more than ever.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe that every child deserves a chance to reach their full potential. Unfortunately, in Milwaukee, this is not always the case. Research shows the educational opportunity gap between white and black students is twice the national average. This is why Milwaukee College Prep is committed to eliminating this gap. In fact, MCP scholars tested advanced or proficient at a rate nearly 8 times higher than the other predominantly black public schools in Milwaukee. Provide your student with the best educational opportunity by visiting MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com. College bound, character strong.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
We are still seeing some delays along southbound 43 from about Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Then again, right through the Marquette interchange down towards the KK River. Northbound's backing up right out of the Marquette up to North Avenue. We're seeing a little bit of a backup as well. Northbound just north of Silver Spring up towards Bender Road. Westbound 94, watch for backups from about 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, and then a little bit crossing over the county line into Waukesha County. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Mostly cloudy, breezy, a low of 62. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy, slight chance for a shower, mainly to the south. Breezy with a high of 72 at the lake, 75 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneim. The Milwaukee Brewers took Game 3 from the Pirates in Pittsburgh on Thursday afternoon. This one by a final score of 5-2. The Crew will return home tonight to host the New York Mets to begin the final series of the regular season. First pitch is set for 7:10. Over to the NFL, where the Green Bay Packers are putting the final touches on their preparations for Week 4 against the Minnesota Vikings. Quarterback Jordan Love partaking in practice all week, but his status for Sunday remains undetermined.
We're building it up for sure. Every day is a little bit better, and it's kind of based on how I'm feeling and kind of just basing off of practice today, how I'm feeling, and go from there.
Kickoff between the Packers and Vikings set for noon on Sunday. And lastly, the Wisconsin Badgers will begin their Big Ten play on Saturday. They'll be out on the road to take on USC. Kickoff is scheduled for 2:30. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I guess I'll talk to White Widow on Pop-Off Friday, but you only got 30 seconds because, you know, you be going like 9 years and stuff. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing very good, sir. Number one, thanks. Thank you for what you did for that lady today. And you're absolutely correct. I told my grandson, you were born to protect the women in your life and carry your grandma's groceries. I love Alpha. I did. He's 13. He plays football. I don't like it. I'm not going to go see it. I don't like unregulated contact sport, but he's a good boy.
Okay.
It keeps him on the straight and narrow. And also, you're led around the basement for the train. I love it. I don't know if you ever went to 6th and Howard. Occasionally, they'll have those collector locomotives come through.
Yep.
They have people there with the cameras with the big lenses. I love the train. I knew a collector before. I don't know if you anticipate grandkids, but, you know, Grandpa's basement's going to be, you know, Wonderland. And ironically, listen to this. It freaked me out. 7:45 last night, I get a call. It says Milwaukee County. You kind of know what I'm talking about. When it's after hours, Milwaukee County, it freaked me out. I thought it was a coroner for a minute, right? I thought, oh, man, what happened? I'll be damned. It was Milwaukee County. They're working overtime on processing. I helped one person 10 hours a week, and they had some questions about his address. Nevertheless, she told me I-43 and 794, the workers have been laid off since the RNC.
Okay.
They're not working, Dr. Ken. There's no workers on these since the RNC, and then they didn't get called back to work. The heavy crane operators, they have people sweeping, and heavy crane operators, the union, they haven't been called back. They thought with the DNC in Chicago, maybe that's why they wanted to keep, you know, not the workers on there. They're still not called back. And that's the Department of Transportation.
There's no work.
Huh?
There's no work. It's the fall.
No, these lanes are all closed down. It's the weather out here is absolutely conducive. No, they're not laid off for the season. They don't know what's going on. They should be working. They should be on those roads for the last month with this weather. Construction is seasonal. Exactly.
Well, they're working up in Ozaki.
Otherwise,
they're working in the northern part. They're working in the northern part of Milwaukee County and Ozaki County. They're up there working on I-43.
But why are the workers laid off? Of the contractors who have the contracts to these roads, they were on these roads before the RNC. They are laid off. I don't know. You know me. I'm a cynic. Don't tell me some money's funny as far as, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have a good weekend. I love the train thing. I just do. And thank you for being there for that woman. Really, thank you. I mean, defund the cops. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? So really, thank you, Dr. Ken.
All right.
You have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I like White Widow. She's nice. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, Gen Z. You're Gen Z, right? Is he Gen Z or millennial? Gen Z?
Gen Z, right with me.
After complaining that Gen Z grads are difficult to work with for the best part of 2 years, bosses are no longer all talk, no action. They are now rapidly firing young workers who aren't up to scratch just months after hiring them. According to a new report, 6 in 10 employers say they've already sacked some of the Gen Z workers they hired fresh out of college earlier this year. Intelligent.com, a platform dedicated to helping young professionals navigate the future of work, surveyed nearly 1,000 U.S. leaders, and it found that the class of 2024's shortcomings will impact future grads. After experiencing a raft of problems with new hires, 1 in 6 bosses say they're hesitant to hire college grads again. Meanwhile, 1 in 7 bosses have admitted that they may avoid hiring them altogether next year. 3/4 of the companies surveyed say some or all of their recent graduate hires were unsatisfactory in some way. Well, ways like what? Unprepared and unprofessional. Employers gripe with young people today is their lack of motivation or even initiative. 50% of the leaders surveyed cited that as the reason why things didn't work out with the new hire. Bosses pointed to Gen Z being unprofessional, unorganized, poor communication skills as their top reasons for having to get rid of them. Leaders say that they have struggled with the latest generation's tangible challenges, including being late for work, late for meetings often, not wearing office-appropriate clothing, and using language appropriate for the workspace. So now more than half of the hiring managers have come to the conclusion that college grads are unprepared for the world of work. Meanwhile, over 20% say they can't handle the workload. In reality, colleges know that their students are wholly unprepared for the workforce, and some have started stepping up to fill the gap. For instance, Michigan State University, teaching students how to handle a networking conversation. What? How to talk to other people? Are you out of your mind? But they're really not out of their mind because y'all don't know how to talk to people. Hold a conversation. Rather talk to your phone, send a text. He putting his headphone on now.
Because this is crazy. I am not going to lie to you. I feel like those leaders, they not being good leaders right now. And I'm going to tell you why. For real. Because these are kids. When you first get
22 years old, you're an adult.
Kid.
If you old enough to drink, if you old enough to smoke, you old enough to work.
When you get out of college,
get it together. Excuses.
You know nothing.
Excuses.
You are
you don't.
Kid.
You went to college,
but you have not experienced the real work world.
What's the real work world?
Experienced
staying up for 8 hours a day.
Actually being in the
not going to bed when you want to go.
No, just actually being in the environment, like being in a work culture, understanding. Oh, this is what it's like to be. Understanding the rules. Understanding the unspoken. You don't know. You don't know nothing. You literally just coming from class to a whole new world. So we need these leaders to be more patient. We need these leaders to teach, to help, to educate,
time is money.
To mold.
That's not their job. Time is money. I hired you to do a job. You said you could do the job, and now you can't do the job. You're fired. That's real world.
They messing it up for themselves because you got to understand. Them leaders.
No, they're not.
Because of this.
You know what they're going to do?
What?
Hire millennials, older millennials, and hire X and hire boomers who already know.
The problem is the future. Gen Z is the future. So you got to start molding us now. And that means you're messing up.
I can't. You're not listening.
Mold us now.
That's why you got fired.
They need to. They got to do a better job.
It's too much money. I'm not paying you $80,000, $90,000 a year to come to work to twiddle your thumbs. Your job is to do the work that you learned.
Listen.
If you can't do it, you're fired. Real world. Real world isn't sitting mollycoddle you and we're going to put you in a class and we're going to walk you through how to do the job that I hired you to do.
Train me. Like, help me.
It's not my job to train you when you said that you went to school to do this.
I just got out. It'd be different if
What did you do? Hit a dump switch and dump all your education on the floor?
It would be different if I was somebody who already had this type of work experience and then I went into the workforce. But if I'm just coming out of college, I need time. You have to give me time. You got to understand that I'm not a 30-year vet at this.
You don't have to be a 30-year vet. Just simply do the entry-level job that I hired you to do.
But I've never done the entry-level stuff before.
Yes, you have. You've shown up on time. You come to meetings on time. You wear the appropriate clothes. You've been told all that because colleges tell you that.
College needs to do a better job at that. That's what I'm going to say.
Dude,
that's what we
do you realize that you are blaming somebody else for something that you do?
No, I get that, but I'm saying
you don't.
We got to look at the factors that cause the generation
that's crybaby garbage.
I'm just saying it's the truth. You have to look at the factors that make the person.
Baby.
If college is not holding you accountable for coming to class on time and holding you accountable for all
because
this
you're
other
an
stuff.
adult. And then when something bad happens, you get a lower grade because you start to recognize and understand that actions have consequences.
That's very true. No, actions definitely have consequences. But if the college is not doing the best job at preparing the
somebody
student
come get Jason. Somebody come get Jason.
It's the truth. If the education's
DJ
not
Brother
doing
C,
a good job,
DJ Brother C, I can't get him either because he
with me. He with me. We back here in tandem.
I don't know what he's saying, but I'm with him.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is the colleges and all of these people who preparing us need to do a better job at preparing us.
How is it their job to prepare you to go do? We gave you all the education you needed. Now we got to hold you. That's why college costs so much now. Now we got to give you mental health. We got to give you spiritual health. We got to give you all this stuff. Well, that means your parents did a really poor job in raising you.
I think no. I think that parents could do a good job.
The problem is that Gen Z will not take responsibility for them. So why would I trust you with anything in the future? Why would I take my time and money and energy to prepare you for something that you can't even get to work on time?
Because it's inevitable. We are going to be the ones.
No,
at
you're
the top
not.
One day.
No, you're not.
In time, Gen Z gonna be the.
No, you're not.
60-year-old.
We just gonna skip a generation and give it to Abe.
Ain't gonna be more messed up than
No,
us.
they not.
Oh my, get out of here.
We gonna take care of them. We gonna kick y'all to the curb.
That's what I was saying. See,
forget y'all.
Picking and choosing who y'all would have helped.
Because y'all suck. Hey, it's Pop-Up Friday, 833-212-1017
Gen Z
is
the
the
best
number.
generation.
Garbage.
Best generation.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
For love of the game.
There's nothing like being selected to the Olympic team.
And love of their country.
Championship of that level, gold medal, means more.
Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Inside stories from Buck stars on the agony and triumph of competing to win it all at the Olympics. It's Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
How much I weigh is nobody's business, but Eric Hovde wants to make it his.
Republican candidate for United States Senate Eric Hovde says that overweight people should have to pay more for their health insurance.
Eric Hovde want us to pay more because we weigh more? How insulting is that?
Listen to Eric Hovde.
There should be consequences to those personal choices. Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
Hovde would increase health care costs for 1 out of every 3 people in Wisconsin.
Eric Hovde is totally wrong. Who do he think he is?
Senator Tammy Baldwin has a different view. She's working to lower health care costs for Wisconsinites. Tammy Baldwin wrote the law that lets young people stay on their parents' health insurance until they're 26. And Tammy took on the big pharmaceutical companies to cap the cost of insulin and inhalers. Tammy Baldwin is the one who's working for us.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Tammy Baldwin for Senate.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They're the window and door equivalent of hitting for the cycle. Pella manufactures all of their own products, and each one of those products gets tested thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time. Quality craftsmanship and innovative design are built into every Pella product for timeless beauty and performance. Order by September 30th and get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
In our community, you will find a Center for Food Security. You'll discover a Center for Behavioral Health Support, a proven Center for Home Care, a successful Center for Employment, a Center for Trauma Recovery, and more. We are Centers for Independence. Find out how you can support Centers for Independence's work and mission at cfihope.org/independence.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Garage doors giving you a headache? Best way I know how to deal with it is to call my friends at Geis. Family owned since 1955. It is the trusted authority on garage doors and openers in southeastern Wisconsin. Trust me, I use them too. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. So, for fast, reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com, Geis doors, one word, .com. Or call, like I did, 262-784-4250. That's 262-784-4250. Don't think twice. Call Geis. And I didn't. So I said, hey, you know the Geis? It's like, sure, man. I mean, I heard of them like since I've been here. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Find yourself humming that ridiculous theme. It's like, but it's catchy. I love it. And so I called them, and I needed some garage repair. Now, here's the weird part. I needed garage repair, so I thought the price they were going to give me was going to be what it would have cost to repair it, right? Now, it wasn't cheap, but you're talking about a garage door that's going to be there for what, 20 years? And not be broken and not be like, right? So I thought the price was going to be like, it's going to be like, it's going to be this. And they gave me the price, and I was like, well, what's that for? They were like, it's for everything. I was like, no, what do you mean? No, I mean, like, what do you, he was like, no, like, you want the, the motor and the track, the thing that attaches to the door, the remote, the app that goes with it, so you can open it remotely and all that. Well, yeah. So how much is all that? He was like, that's it. For 2 doors? Yep. And how long does it take? 1 day. So he started at 8 o'clock. He calls me, right? Because I planned my day. Hey, so I'll be back at such and such a time because, I got a radio show to do. Then I'll be back and, I could check it. And dude was like, call me at 1 o'clock. Hey, we're done. I'm like, okay, time out. How did you do 2 garage doors? Motor, I don't know none of the parts, right? All the, the track that connects to the door itself, you hung it, you put in the little thing. So if you accidentally walk past it and the door comes down, it goes up automatically. Like all that? He was like, yeah, I'm done. I was like, dude, I gotta go home and see this. I want to see it done. Totally and completely. And then, right? The light in my side, right? Never the other side. My side, the light went out. So what did I do? I called him. Hey, there's something with your motor. And so we couldn't figure out how to fix it. I was like, oh, dude. He said, so we just replaced the whole thing. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, the whole motor thing? Yeah, we just replaced it. Okay. Man, I love it every day I go home. It is Now, here's my problem with the door. It's not old like mine, so it's not quiet. So I have to watch the door because it's smooth and it's quiet. And I'm used to the door. The door goes. And I'm like, is it opening? Now, one time I did bump into the door because I backed out because I wasn't used to it. And I thought I hit the button and it was open and I bumped the door like sturdy as I'll get. I was like, this is great. That's the best money I ever spent. I ain't lying. I'm not trying to be all, that was the best money I ever spent. Let me squeeze this in here and see if I can squeeze in Al from Sherman Park. You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hey, what's up? I apologize. We only have about a minute and a half.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were going to go further into the CNN children study on how they feel politically.
Yep. Oh, I'm going to get to that in the 5 o'clock hour. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how they found that the children of the blue state or Democrat leaning were, 9 times more negative towards, I guess, Trump than the red state kids were about Kamala.
Right.
And then that their parents would disallow them from associating the Democrat kids 5 times more unlikely to let them play with children in the Trump household, whereas the Trump household was more tolerant.
Yeah, I saw that, and so the blue the kids in the blue state are actually more lonely than the kids in red states.
Yeah, I think a lot of them, they were getting that from what they were hearing in their household from their parents. A quick story about that, arriving late in class.
You got about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay, he started class at 7. If you weren't in that class at 7, he locked the door at 7 o'clock, so that cured me of coming late to his class.
So are you going to lock the work door? Like, are you going to lock your door at work so your employees can't come to work? You still got to pay them.
Oh, no, you got to punch in most job places, don't you?
No.
I know I have to log in.
Who?
When I worked in the office, I had to not only punch in at the door, but I had to be logged in at my desk, too.
See,
so
that kind of stuff, that's why I don't work at places like that. I'll punch in for my hourly rate, but I'm not punching in at a desk and swiping my card every time I go in and out and all that. Either get the work done or don't get the work done, get paid or don't get paid. If you don't, you're fired. All right, I got to go. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. 833-212-1017 is the number. I know the caller's hanging, and if you got something on the talk and text line, I've been running off at the mouth because Jason has been harassing me, the senior citizen, and beating me up and hollering and threatening me. So you know what's going to happen. Jason might not be here. Well, actually, I might not be here next hour because I might go home because I'm scared.
1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
Truth Nation, join us live for the Truth Summit on Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for a lively debate and insights that you can't afford to miss. We've got it covered on the pulse of Black Milwaukee. Get your tickets to the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Your family history of prostate cancer increases the risk for all the men in your family. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Prostate cancer is most treatable when it's detected early. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. For more than 30 years, PCF, a leader in scientific breakthroughs, has funded cutting-edge research that speeds new treatments into clinics, helping patients live longer with fewer complications. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life, and it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 101.7 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. September is National Suicide Prevention Month, and experts say suicide is a top public health concern in Wisconsin. Levi Stein with Friendship Circle of Wisconsin tells Wisconsin Afternoon News suicide prevention starts with having the right tools to encourage open conversations.
We need to connect them to someone else, and those people need to be able to support them, able to increase safety, and willing to connect them to those resources that they need. Thank God we have resources, we just need to connect them.
The Wisconsin Department of Health Services estimates one suicide death affects as many as 135 other individuals, including friends, coworkers, and loved ones. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is available 24/7 by dialing 988. The Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents votes unanimously to fire former UW La Crosse Chancellor Dr. Joe Gao from his faculty teaching position. Gao has been on paid leave from his faculty position since the Regents fired him as chancellor in December 2023, shortly after university leaders became aware of videos made by Gao and his wife that were posted on pornographic websites. At a meeting in June, a UW La Crosse faculty committee recommended that Gao lose his tenured position, stating that his outside activities harmed the university's reputation. A Milwaukee homeless shelter has issued a notice to vacate homeless people living in a nearby encampment. Tons of tents are located on 13th Street near Juneau Avenue, across the street from a men's homeless shelter called Guest House of Milwaukee. Last week, a notice was issued at the shelter and on tents across the street, stating that they had 30 days to vacate and be gone by 5 p.m. on Saturday, October 12th. They say the reason is due to violence. Currently, the CEO of Guest House, Stephen Bauer, is trying to find alternatives for resources and housing for those affected by the notice. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Before I get to Al and before I get to the caller, it's already been put. I didn't put it on there. It was already put on X that the person who I made sure they got to their car safely and wasn't possibly abducted and or harmed by this person was Adriana Mendez, a reporter. I'm sorry, she's an anchor at TMJ4. So Just wanted to put that out there. It's all over X and Instagram now. So and she put it out. So it was just one of those things. The cop instinct kicked in, and something didn't look right, and it wasn't. And yeah, so I'll go back into the story after my top 5 at 5. 833-212-1017 is the number. The caller, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good, Doc. Salute to you, brother.
Hey, what's up?
And when I tuned in just a minute ago, I could have sworn that I was wondering, I said, is Dr. Ken hosting an amateur comedy night? Because I thought I heard Jason say something about Gen Z being the greatest generation.
Yeah, some trash.
We are.
Okay, so good, Doc. We are both students of history. There were 186,000 black men who served in the Union Army that freed their families and black people from bondage. There is no generation that has, if we're comparing generations, which is immature, is there any generation, in your opinion, elder brother, that is anywhere near that has accomplished, went from bondage to freedom?
That generation and the silent generation are probably the two generations, which is the generation immediately after the Civil War, are probably the two greatest generations.
For black people.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You know how people like to bring that up specifically for black people. Is there any greater deed than to give your life? Because 68,000 of them, Jason and Brother Z, died for our freedom. And in my opinion, people who are a little bit older than Dr. Ken, who decided when they were 13 and 14 that they were going to hit the streets with Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, and Dr. Ken, move the needle a little bit further to get us out of legal Jim Crow.
So those older
me being a Generation
boomers.
X person,
Yep.
I love my generation. I think we have been very creative and innovative. And unfortunately, one of us who helped build hip-hop, LL Cool J, who is in his own right, has claims to being one of the best hip-hop artists, coined this phrase that he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. It's used in sports now because, good Doc, I'm sure you remember back in the 80s even, being the GOAT meaning you messed up in sports and cost your team a championship, right?
That is correct.
So we just educated those who come behind us, and I hope that you and I can encourage people like Jason, who is probably a Gen X, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So why he would be promoting
I'm trying to give you some love. Hold up. I'm trying to give you some love, Jason, and take the load off. He is Gen Z, and he's terrible, and that's who I was talking about. So there, go ahead.
Okay. So
the best generation.
Most people, even some who are Gen Xers, in the situation where you performed your act of heroism, would have stood by and maybe pulled out their phone and recorded the situation.
Yep.
Am I wrong?
That's
Am I
probably
lying
true.
on anybody?
That's probably true.
So you're from a generation of love and protection, and people who got, I guess, participation trophies, and then when they on the ride home, we're told that they're going to go to the NFL when mom and pop knew that this kid couldn't play football.
No. I got one better. Someone's following somebody, but when I save them, they want a trophy and a ribbon because they were there recording it for me.
Thank you. That kind of thing. So what I would encourage the people who are young adults is to, as you said, watch these little 7 and 8 and 9 year olds who many times are more mature than the parents when I see them at the grocery store, because they see the foolery of the damage of the crack generation and the opioid, and many of them will not follow that path and listen to great mentors like yourself and create the next generation that will move the needle a third time and more toward equality, which is what I really believe and what I see in my own family. And I hope it comes true. Now, Gen Zers, it's not too late for you guys to step your game up and come up with your own music and stop emulating your grandparents, because there are grandparents who created hip-hop who are about Dr. Ken's age, and up until recently, there was a great music genre created by every generation, right, good Doc?
That's true.
Of black people.
Except Gen Z.
Except Gen Z. Well, the millennials, what genre did they create?
Millennials ain't create nothing.
So
what millennials have done, this is just me.
Yeah, Gen X built hip hop. Baby boomers were the originators of hip hop.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about. You still stuck on music though. I'm talking about.
I'm just going into the art. I'm trying to hit the whole spectrum.
Okay.
In athletics, Doc, tell me if you agree with this. If I name the top 100 athletes in any sport, I would say 50 of them were born between or played their sport. When did Kobe Bryant get drafted? Late 90s to from the I'll say from in a 40-year time frame. From the time Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige were playing baseball till about the mid to late 90s. Would you say that would be correct?
Yeah.
You have Muhammad Ali, Jordan,
Yep.
All the greatest. So Gen Z and millennials knock it off and just take your place of being the bridge over between greatness, because sometimes greatness skips one or two generations, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, take care. Did y'all learn the history lesson today? Did you learn something? Y'all ain't done jack. Step it up or step out. 8332. I only did that because I saw you about to turn on the mic. What you got to say? What you got to say?
What I'm gonna say is, hold on.
Put your headphones on so you can hear me holler at you.
No, I know, because I'm over here. I'm over here hot. I accidentally knocked over the phone. The bridge between greatness, dude. When you talking about the greatness of all those people, right, and from the previous generations, they had years and years and decades to become that.
No, they didn't,
bro.
They did not.
We talk about the greatest. And
Martin Luther King was in his 29.
Is LeBron a millennial or is LeBron I think LeBron a millennial.
He's a millennial.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. No, he's not the GOAT. No, Michael Jordan from
he's not the GOAT.
Years ago.
He's not the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. However,
he's not. He's not the GOAT.
He is though.
He'll tell you he's not the GOAT.
No, he gonna tell you he is the GOAT.
No, he's not.
He already said he the GOAT.
He's not.
He the GOAT.
He's the greatest. Right this. He's a God. He's the greatest today.
No, he's the greatest of all time.
No, he's not.
But y'all have to remember.
He hasn't even won as many times.
Listen.
Come on, dude. You answer your phone.
Y'all have to remember that in 20 years,
no, we don't have to remember. We don't have to remember.
Everybody, the people watching LeBron right now is going to be majority, basically. And they're all going to have a consensus that LeBron a GOAT, just how they do with Michael Jordan.
No.
They are.
People before Michael Jordan think he's the greatest, and people after Michael Jordan think, listen. You see, you didn't hear what I just said. People before Michael Jordan think he's the greatest. People after Michael Jordan think he's the greatest. LeBron will never do for basketball what Michael Jordan did for basketball. He never will. I don't care how many billions he has. I don't care. He doesn't have the class. He doesn't have the gravitas. It's nothing negative. He's just a different person.
I think that's just
But when you tack it, it's not generational. Stack it up. Anyway, why am I talking to you? Why am I wasting my time?
I'm just saying, y'all are tripping. Let me read All
right. 833-212-1017. Okay, now I got to talk to Al before we go to break. Al, you're on the award-winning 101.72. Will you please bring some reasonableness to this conversation?
Well, the only thing I was going to say, each generation have something good to give. I think right now in the generation that he's in, they just have to find their niche. They all have their special talents and outlooks, like with technology. Some of them know so many formulas that some people don't even know, or they know how to break code. So I just think every generation has their own level and their own era that they're going to contribute. That's all I was going to say. But I will say the generation now, they think differently. A lot of them are fearless and they're warriors. They just got to find that one special recipe to run it on through. And then all the other generations would be like, see, that's what I'm talking about. I knew you had it in you.
But they don't have it.
That's all I can say about that.
Thank you.
I think some of them have it.
They ain't got it. You know why? Al, you know why?
Right.
Every other generation followed the mantra, you don't ask for what you can take.
Oh, they don't take it. I think they got it.
Dude, they can't even get to work on time. They can't get to a meeting in a building that they're already at on time. You don't dress appropriately. You don't talk appropriately. And when someone corrects you, you cry and say mental health is the reason why, and you triggered them. Really? Well, go trigger yourself at home without a job.
All righty, there you go.
All right, talk to you later.
I ain't going to argue that.
All right.
Have a good one.
Later.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas from Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, and I am so excited for you to tune in to our monthly interview with Old National Bank. Old National Bank will be joining us to discuss why they are so committed to supporting women and people of color-owned businesses, while also discussing their Empowerment Loan Program, which can provide your business access to funds up to $5 million. So don't miss our Truth Be Told monthly interview with Old National Bank at 8 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What distinguishes Old National Bank from other lenders in helping people buy their first home and furthering their small businesses?
One thing that really makes us stand out is our grants. We have 2 really big grants right now specifically for first-time home buyers buying in Milwaukee County. The first one is for $15,000. They have to be buying within Milwaukee County and reach certain income limits. And then the second one is for $20,000, and that is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indiana. We're headquartered in Indiana, as you know, Denise. So that is a second grant, and that is really the highest, most robust grant program throughout the entire southeastern Wisconsin area. So it's up to $35,000 essentially that a person could be receiving for their first home. If you are in a position that you're looking to buy your first home throughout Milwaukee County, please give me a call. Please contact me. I'm more than happy to help everybody that I can.
And what's your number, Anna?
Sure.
How can they reach you?
414-978-0283.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette Hilltoppers football. Tune in Friday night as the Greater Metro Conference first place Hilltoppers travel to take on the West Allis Hale Huskies. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 1017 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School. This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. For Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. How do you say welcome to your guest? You can say it with a new entry door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You can say it with color. The possibilities are endless thanks to Pella's custom colors. Like I can imagine sitting with the palette and you can literally like punch in the number Pantone 3014 whatever, and it'll give you the color. But see, that's why I don't work at Pella, because then they'd be like, hey, dude, yeah, you want to get out the colors and like go help some people? Like, what are you doing? Playing with colors. What is that? Like, I was the guy with the crayon boxes. 64? Did they make a box of 128 crayons? I think 64 was the highest, right? You don't even remember crayons. Be quiet. He used a computer to color with, so why am I talking to him? He's a Gen Z. Anyway, possibilities are limitless, but you can say it with class as well. Pella's premium doors stand out due to their distinguished craftsmanship. So for me, you can also say it with a good deal. 0% interest up to 60 months, no money down, equal payments. You got to hurry. Today is the 27th. of September. Offer ends on Monday, September 30th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com today, PellaWI.com today. See, that's what baby boomers, X, and older millennials do. That's not what Gen Z does. Well, where am I find it at? Can you show me where it is on the internet? See, just... I had to get you.
Convenience.
Laziness. The only thing the internet ever did for Gen Z is make them more lazy. That's all. That's all. Why you beating up on them? There's a poor little boop, 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 boop. Whatever. Dude, whatever. You know why?
Number 5.
Bosses are firing Gen Z grads months after hiring them, and they don't understand they need to change. They don't understand that, hey, dude, hey, dudette. Can you call a girl a dudette? Anyway, y'all need to step up. 6 in 10 employers have already canceled, fired, sacked some of the Gen Z workers that they hired because they're not getting the job done. They're not showing up for work. Wearing tennis shoes and white socks with dress pants. Like, stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Or coming to work with no socks on, but with dress shoes on. Like, in a suit with dress. I saw one guy at work with an ascot. You know what an ascot is? Exactly. Had an ascot on with a dress shirt, a jacket, tight, those skinny pants that were short, right? Because they don't come all the way down. With look like gauchos. Anyway, with no socks and dress shoes on. And he probably wonders why he got turned away and got fired. Ridiculous.
That's kind of, because, you know, that's a swag a little bit, Dr. Cameron.
You don't swag at work. You impress people who make money. And when you cost me money, you don't work here anymore. And that's what it comes down to. Period. Full stop. That's it.
Number 4.
From blackenterprise.com, hey, y'all. It appears Detroit Judge Kenneth King, who was temporarily removed from the bench after placing a teen in handcuffs during a field trip, is back on duty, but he's in traffic court. So, yeah, the phrase, you know, stupid is as stupid does. King was ordered to take social emotional training by the chief judge of the 36th District Court, Chief Judge William McConaughey, and as a result was assigned to traffic court in late September of 2024. In a statement, King's attorney said the judge is willing to work anywhere at the court and understands wholeheartedly embraces the concept of teamwork. But what he didn't do, it sounds like, is accept the fact that he made a mistake. You know what? I made a mistake and I apologize. Right? That's all it takes. In August of 2024, King was reprimanded for singling out, now get this, a 15-year-old Eva Goodman who fell asleep in the courtroom during a field trip. King labeled the minor as having a bad attitude while she was visiting his courtroom with other teens. Watch this. Placed her in jail clothes and handcuffs. The judge described the incident as a lesson. It was her whole attitude and her whole disposition that disturbed me. Dude, don't nobody care about you, you arrogant. Anyway, needless to say, he got his comeuppance. Dude was like, I can't fire you, but okay, look at this. Something wrong with this mouse. I'm getting no love from this mouse. It's not. It died again. Come on, move. Don't you love live radio? I tell you. But you know what? Thank goodness for backup. See, that's the thing. You got to be ready for no matter what happens, right? You have to be ready. So I'm typing in my password. So that no matter what happens, all you have to do, oh, that's rich. Now the whole computer system just shut down. Like this. No. And now it just came back. Okay. It's Friday. So watch this. I think my computers are popping off. That's what I really think. I think my computers have gotten upset with me. So they decided they wanted to pop off today so that I wouldn't be the only one. And that's okay. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Let's kind of wait for my computer to load. It happened over there too? Yep. So it wasn't me. Okay, now it's back. That was weird. I think it was you. I think you got mad. We was talking about millennials and Gen Z.
I just messed everything up.
Messed everything up. He's like, I'll show him.
Y'all disrespecting Gen Zs too much.
That's not disrespect. That's truth. And that's another problem. Y'all can't take the truth. You can't handle the truth. Somebody tell you the truth, you call it disrespect. If I disrespected you, I would let you go on letting yourself get fired and then wonder what happened. Well, I don't understand what happened. Nobody told me.
Number 3.
This from Politico. So, would you say, Jason, that issues going on in the country right now, things are a little tenuous?
Yes.
Politically, emotionally, financially. You got the markets. You got all these things going. Jobs, inflation. As if that's not bad enough, ports along the East and Gulf Coast are on the verge of a dock worker strike that could damage the U.S. economy just 1 month before the election, creating a political quandary for President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Intervening to stop the strike, as Biden did 2 years ago to prevent rail workers from walking off the job, could sour labor voters on Harris, who is trying to shore up support from blue-collar workers who could decide the election in critical swing states. But allowing a lengthy work stoppage could unleash pain on consumers, drive up prices, and delay imports of automobiles, bananas, even Christmas decorations. So a strike could be as soon as Tuesday if the International Longshoremen's Association doesn't reach a deal with the alliance of companies that operate at more than a dozen major ports along the eastern seaboard and Gulf Coast. The two sides are nowhere near an agreement. And Biden has said that he is not using his executive power to halt an International Longshoremen's Association strike. So if you think prices are bad now, you think the stock market is bad now, wait a couple days. By Tuesday, it won't matter if it's 3 weeks before the election. Matter of fact, you better pray they didn't send off somewhere to another country to get them signs printed, because they ain't coming. I know you're running for election, but your signs are on the ship, and the ship is stuck in the Gulf, and we can't get them off.
That's scary.
So if you ordered something from Temu, Alibaba, something in bulk, good luck. It ain't coming. And watch this. It could be here, sitting in a container at the dock, and you can't get it because the longshoremen are on strike. So there's nobody unloading it. Yep. But you won't have to worry about that.
Number 2.
Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of drugging and sexually assaulting yet another woman in another civil lawsuit, making at least the 12th misconduct lawsuit he's facing in as many months. In the complaint filed in New York and obtained today by CNN, this from CNN.com, Jane Doe alleges she was unwillingly drugged with alcohol and unknown substances and sexually assaulted by Combs on more than one occasion in 2022. The allegations spanned 4 years from the fall 2020 to the summer 2024, months after the rapper and producer had been named as a defendant in multiple lawsuits and was under federal investigation. So I brought this up to somebody, and they said this. Well, let me go back. The suit states at every visit, defendant Combs would make her perform a show for him and would ply her with alcohol and substances until she passed out. She would wake up with bruising and injuries, but with no recollection of how she sustained her injuries. This continued until July of 2024. So my question to the other person was this: how did it happen that much? Like, how did it span 2 years? And I know there's a power dynamic. There's a dynamic of you being somebody's boss. I don't know. But you went back repeatedly, right? I recognize that because women do the same thing, and men when they're in abusive relationships. There's a fear factor. There's a power differential. And so you feel as if that person has power over you, right? I'm interested in reading that complaint. But you can't because it's civil and it's a John Doe and Jane Doe, and so we don't know who she is. But this is just another. This is just another. I probably shouldn't say it, but hey, it's Pop-Off Friday. It's another nail in his coffin.
Number 1.
School board. Where do we start with MPS? I don't know if it's the cops that we don't have or the trips they took to ask other people about cops that we don't have in the schools. We're only 9 months late. Former Milwaukee Public School Board President Michael Bonds was sentenced on this past Wednesday to 2 years behind bars for his role in a bribery scandal. U.S. District Court Judge Gerald A. McHugh of Philadelphia ordered Bonds to also serve a year of supervised release after his prison term ends. Bonds, 65, also must forfeit the $18,000 prosecutors say he received as part of the criminal enterprise. Bonds wasn't remanded into custody on Wednesday. He was given until November 12th to surrender to authorities and begin his prison term. Bonds served on the school board from 2007 until he abruptly resigned in July of 2018 with less than a year left on his term. Federal prosecutors argued Bond used his influence to help Universal Education Companies, a Philadelphia-based charter school company, get benefits to operate their 3 locations in Milwaukee: the former Green Bay Avenue School at 3872 North 8th Street, Webster School, 6850 North 53rd Street, and Lee Elementary School at 921 West Meineke. And so, that is unfortunate. He pled guilty in 2019 to conspiracy and violations of the Travel Act for taking kickbacks in return for votes between 2014 and 2016 that benefited Universal, which employed his co-conspirators. School privatization scams and corruption go hand in hand, Ingrid Walker Henry, president of the MTEA, said in a statement. While it is good to see corrupt private school executives and former elected officials be held accountable, as long as private charter and voucher schools continue to make money from taxpayers with virtually no oversight, the system remains vulnerable to this kind of grift and corruption. And the reason we have it, ma'am, is because people like you and people like your union don't do their job. And our kids are terrible for it in public school. We wouldn't need private schools. We wouldn't need private school educators. And you're trying to say that they are thieving when you're wasting our money? You may as well just cut it up or burn it, because that's what you're doing with our kids. You have the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association has the audacity to say that. You all are 95% of the reason why we're in this mess to begin with. And then you get a chance to step up and actually say something that makes sense. Like, we want to do what's right for the kids. The only thing you ask is that you need to pass it so the teachers can get their raise. Don't give a flip about those kids. And I guess you proved it once again. You are so afraid of competition because you cannot stand up to it. And I guess you're showing it. Unfortunate for the kids in Milwaukee. We got to keep fighting for them. We got to keep doing it. Otherwise, we're going to keep running into this. It's terrible. So was it any different when Michael Bonds was there cheating and stealing and taking bribes? The MTEA didn't do anything then. They're not doing anything now. So what's different? Like, did you give an example of here's what we would do different? No. Elected leaders must protect taxpayers and public school families by ending the privatization scam once and for all. Really? What about the children? Milwaukee Public Schools issued an impact statement that was read in court. It said, MPS said Bonds' conduct harm the school's district's reputation. Your reputation is that you are terrible and you don't educate kids. Right now, there's no way your reputation at MPS could be any worse. It can only go up. And I won't even say that about MPS because that's not true. The union. I won't even say that about MPS because you know what? I know so many people that are principals and so many people that have used to be principals and teachers at MPS that were absolutely outstanding at what they did. They took care of those kids. The kids learned. They went on to school. They graduated. They're in college. They graduated. They're working. And none of them are Gen Z. But I'm just saying. I couldn't pass it up. And so they do a great job. Your fear of private choice and charter schools is the union. And that's unfortunate. That you got a lot of teachers that don't even send their kids to MPS. They work there, but they won't send their kids there. They'll send them to a public school in the suburbs, which is like what? A private choice or charter school. Like, who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Did he damage the reputation? He absolutely did. But your reputation is bad because of people like the MTEA. You just need a better union. You need a better union. Don't even get rid of the union. I think in many instances you need unions, right? Because I mean, back in the day when kids were going to labor at 12 and 13 years old and working in coal mines and people getting black lung and all that, because the workers didn't care. They just wanted the money. We needed unions. And now we're trying to get rid of unions. And eventually we'll get back to unions because, things are going to break down. But at some point, there needs to be a balance and somebody needs to watch unions. If unions are watching everybody else, who's watching them? We haven't heard one word from the union in relation to what? Putting police in schools. We haven't heard one word from the unions as it relates to the kids going back to school this year. And the kids, they only talk about teachers. Teachers. I get it. But really? That's like the Milwaukee Police Association only talking about cops. No, you got to talk about citizens because those cops serve the citizens. And I've seen instances where the MPA has gone to save certain people and other people said they couldn't help them. Sometimes it was along racial lines. You got to watch them too. And I'm not anti-union. I was in several of them. But at some point, we got to be careful. Because we are so separated. I love MPS schools. I go every year. I try to get to multiple schools on first day so that I can greet the kids and give them a high five. And I try to go during Black History Month. So we have to do that. We got to support our kids. We got to support MPS. But if someone decides they want to support something else, we can't dismiss them. That's like, what was it? Your parents are, Trump supporters, so we can't. So your kids can't, our kids can't play together. Your parents are liberal. They support Kamala Harris, so our kids can't play together. That's why kids are so doggone lonely. And then we wonder why the suicide rate is up. Right. 833-212-1017 is the number. See, Jason is Gen Z. I'm talking too much, and that's why I'm late. It's his fault. Ain't nobody. He's laughing like, hey, yeah, right, just press the button. I'm just. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'll hit the talk and text line when I get back. Oh, no, let me do it now. Dr. Ken, you are not lying. Fire them. They don't even make minimum. These young folks are. Wow. They talking about the Gen Z. She said, Erica said, fire them. These young people are not prepared. Get off your phones and learn something from people. Can't argue with that. Traffic, sports, and weather up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans, For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
Hi, I'm Phil Anderson. We're told at every election that it's the most important of our lives, yet we end up with more debt and division. Republicans or Democrats, nothing changes in Washington. But the Libertarian Party of Wisconsin is different. We're fighting for freedom, right here, right now. Tired of choosing the lesser of two evils? Join us at lpwi.org and let's build a better society. To learn more, visit lpwi.org, paid for by the Libertarian Party of Wisconsin.
Check out Jammin' with Juice, where it's amazingly juicy.
I'm going to tell y'all straight up, though. Y'all little brothers, little sisters, y'all doing good. I don't think y'all know how good y'all doing it.
Thank you.
Because it's hard to get the young people to talk about these important issues.
Like, let's say you washing your body, you washing your hair, you wash your face, you cleaned your ears, you got behind them ears, you brushed your teeth, your makeup off, you done exfoliated, you done shaved. Why not brush your teeth in the shower? Why not use the bathroom in the shower? As we wrap up the show with a bow, I'm flaming, bitch. You was looking up to Steve Harvey.
Yeah. He was a positive black man, you know.
I feel it.
Had a good show. He had some swag.
He was a music teacher.
He was the music teacher.
You love music.
Yeah. Shoot, he was messing around with the principal. Like, come on now.
He thought he was playing.
Yeah. He's a king of comedy. This man doing it. I want to be like Steve. What's up, my jammer?
What's up, guys? You know what? I just want to say you guys are the best thing rocking at 12 noon. You guys just bring so much energy to 12 o'clock. I don't even want to eat my lunch because I want to hear what Big Jammin' and Naughty Juice got to say.
You sitting at the crib, you watching TV, and your life's passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next month. No, do it right now. You can do it after work, or you can do it before work. Just do whatever you need to do to graduate. There is definitely a line when it comes to just enhancing your beauty versus like completely altering your entire body in more ways than one to look completely different.
From the 414 to everyone across the globe, Jammin' with Juice is here for you. Check out Jammin' with Juice daily on YouTube.
Southbound on 41, backing up from just before Appleton Avenue down towards Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, we're seeing delays from Highway 83 all the way to Highway 16. And then from about the zoo interchange to 35th Street. Southbound 43, backed up from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, we've got mostly cloudy skies, breezy. It'll be a low of 62. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, slight chance for a shower later on, mainly to the south, and a high of 72 at the lakefront, 75 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snime. The Milwaukee Brewers took Game 3 from the Pirates in Pittsburgh on Thursday afternoon. This one by a final score of 5-2. The Crew will return home tonight to host the New York Mets to begin the final series of the regular season. First pitch is set for 7:10. Over to the NFL, where the Green Bay Packers are putting the final touches on their preparations for Week 4 against the Minnesota Vikings. Quarterback Jordan Love partaking in practice all week, but his status for Sunday remains undetermined.
We're building it up. Every day is a little bit better, and it's kind of just based on how I'm feeling and kind of just basing off of practice today, how I'm feeling, and going from there.
Kickoff between the Packers and Vikings set for noon on Sunday. And lastly, the Wisconsin Badgers will begin their Big Ten play on Saturday. They'll be out on the road to take on USC. Kickoff is scheduled for 2:30. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. All right, let me get caught up. Truth Nation, we've been teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses. Visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com to sign up today. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. Hey, are you ready to dive into issues that matter most for the city of Milwaukee? Join us live for our first ever Truth Summit, Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. right here at the 3rd Street Market. Exclusive, in-person roundtable event. We'll discuss the pulse of Black Milwaukee. We're going to be talking about managing your money in tough times, navigating the education system, when you got first, second, and third generation folks going to college, understanding the political decisions that affect the policies that affect our lives every day. We got all that covered. I'll be joined by expert guests in finance, education, politics, and policy, and we'll have a lively discussion. You need to be there to ask questions, share your insights. You don't want to miss it. Reserve your spot for the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com. Scroll down and you'll see Truth Summit. Click it, get your ticket, and let's rock. All right? And of course, coming up in about 45 minutes, I don't know, hour and 15 minutes. We're proud to be the home of Marquette University High School Championship football. We have a great matchup for you tonight. The Marquette High Hilltoppers look to extend their win to 5 straight games in a row as they host West Dallas Hale Huskies. That's 7 o'clock tonight, kickoff. Friday Night Football on the Truth is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Now, let me go back to the beginning of the show. Let me go back. So, I was sitting outside. Sometime I sit outside. Sometime I come inside. Sometime I sit right here in our green guest area to do my show prep. You know, I go through news and I read articles. I look at notes I had throughout the week, things that triggered me to think about stuff, and I go through it. So, I see somebody walk outside, and they walk past, and they stand there, and then they walk back, and I look over, and I go, that person looks familiar. I said, hey, aren't you a TV reporter? And she says, yes, I'm Ariana Mendez. Ariana Mendez at TMJ4. And I go, oh, yeah, good to meet you. I'm Dr. Ken Harris from 1017 The Truth. I'm on radio. It's good to see you, finally meet you in person. How you doing? She said, yeah, I was just inside. I saw Tori Lowe in there. And, you know, I saw him, and I saw the studios. I've never been down here. This is really cool. And I was like, yeah, that's great. I said, well, nice. She was like, how long have you been? And I said, well, I've only been here 4 years. I said, but I was in law enforcement. I'm a retired lieutenant. I'm a professor at Concordia University, Wisconsin, and I'm here. And I've been in radio for, a few decades, but, this is something that I wanted to do, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Conversation was like a minute and a half, right? I'm out. I go back to my computer. She goes in. She comes back out. And you can tell, right? Because she's a very attractive woman. She's on TV, right? I see every head turn. And all the guys are looking like, hey. And I'm like, guys are guys. But then there's this other guy following her. But I don't know if he's following her or just leaving the building. But his walking and the way that he was walking, when people normally walk, you walk past people like you're going somewhere. He was walking very gingerly, like, but he was very intentional. Now, let me explain something. I've had some training in my law enforcement career that trains us to watch people who are watching other people without being caught, right? So I started looking at this guy, and he's setting off my cop intuition. Like if I had Spidey sense, it blew up. And I was like, something don't look right, right? And so I've been one of those people that when something doesn't look right, you figure it out, even when you don't know why. So I stop. Ariana turns and goes down the street towards Val Phillips. He stops and then turns. So now what I'm seeing is he's mirroring everything she does. He stopped, she stopped. She walked, he walked. Let me cut off my computer and go down there. And I pressed the button, and I'm sitting there like, why am I sitting here waiting for my computer to power down? I close it, put it under my arm, and I start walking around. And so there's some Jehovah's Witnesses that are always outside. They're always on a corner. And I run past them. They probably thought something was wrong with me. Thought I had the Holy Ghost. And I ran, and I go up the street, and I see them. And they're like further, they're about halfway between 3rd and Val Phillips. And so I kind of walk fast. I didn't want to just run because it would have looked weird. So I walk real fast, and I see her get to the, meanwhile, he's closing the distance. He's getting closer and closer. First, he's like 20 feet. Then he's 15 feet. Then he's about maybe 10 feet. And I see him pull out his phone, and he looks at it, and he puts it back. And I think, what was that about? That was odd. So then I go, she turns the corner, and as she's maybe about 30 feet from her car, as she starts to turn the corner, she presses the button and I see the car go beep, beep, and to open the door. And he turns the corner, and I see him start to close the distance, and I go, hey, and she turns around and sees me, and I said, hey, I wanted to catch up with you and I just start this random conversation. And it was funny because, you know, she's a trooper, right? She's used to people speaking to her and getting stopped at the store and all that. So she was like, hi, it was nice. And so I said, you know, I just want to catch up and say it was really great meeting you. And she's like, yeah, like, you know, yeah, okay. You know, and she's probably thinking, what's wrong with this fool? Like, and then I say, there's a guy that's been following you since you left. And I watched him, and I wanted to make sure you got to your car safe. Meanwhile, the guy walks past us. He goes not even a quarter block away and then sits down on one of those planter things and just sits there watching us. And I think to myself, so the scenario, if I was to piece it together, strictly assumption, as she got in her car, he would have probably pushed her on in the car, got in, and drove away, and we may have never seen her again. I mean, it could have been anything. And I just said, you know what? You're okay? And I stayed long enough, watched her get in her car and close the door, lock the door, and then I left and came back. I didn't say anything to anybody because I said, well, if I say something, it'll make you look, and it's not false humility. If I said something, people be like, yeah, right. Like, first of all, you couldn't say the person's name. You couldn't tell who they were. Like, really? Like, whatever. But then she put it on X. And so I want to read what she wrote on X so that you understand what happened. She said, I just want to publicly thank, and my handle on X is @DrKen'sTruth from 1017 The Truth. I was walking by myself to my car. He noticed someone was following me. I was on my phone and had zero situational awareness. Now, this is a woman who clearly is in control of who she is because she openly admits she wasn't aware. Most people wouldn't do that. He stopped what he was doing to walk behind me to make sure I got to my car safely. And then, of course, Sherwin says, that Dr. Ken is a nice guy. Did I say that like Sherwin? Okay. And then she said, and then she added, as soon as I got into my car and was safe, Dr. Ken then left. If something would have happened to me, I would have had no means of protecting myself. I appreciate him looking out for me. That's the true definition of community, looking out for one another. And then she added, just met him today, and I would agree 100%. And so I wrote to her and said, thank you, Adriana. It was my honor to use my cop intuition to see something wasn't right, and I couldn't, in good conscience, hope nothing would happen. You're so very welcome. And it's just one of those things that everything worked out. But it could have gone horribly wrong. Tomorrow, we could have had a report that says somebody's missing and we don't know where they are and never heard of before, or something tragic, or could have been injured. Men have to watch over women in this community. Men have to, especially Black and Hispanic men. You have to watch over women in this community. There are people that are abducting women, that are putting women in sex trafficking, or just raping and killing them. And we have to be sure, you have to be hyper vigilant so that you understand what's going on around you. Your head needs to be on a swivel. You need to make sure that you are always know where you are, who's walking behind you, who's in front of you. Are you walking too close to the building? All those things. And it's much more than that, but you have to remember that the adage of see something, say something is what you have to do. When you feel like something is not right, it's not right, even if it's right. You have to honor your feelings. You have to honor your emotion. You have to honor your intuition and do something about it. You can always apologize if something was wrong. Had she gotten upset at me and hollered at me for bothering her, at least she was safe. And she didn't do that. She was gracious. And I'm glad everyone in that instant is safe. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up for about an hour, and then we got Hilltop of Football coming up at 7 o'clock for the kickoff. Hey, thank you very much. It's been a full, fruitful, impactful week. I'm totally emotional, and I'm going to go home and go to sleep. God bless. Take care. Thank you, DJ Brother Z. Thank you, Jason. Jammin' B. What's going on? Hey, thank you all. God bless. Take care. Listen to the rebroadcast over the weekend, and I'll see you, God willing, on Monday at 4. I'm out.